So that video shows the recent transformation that I just went under, and I'm going to break down the process and roughly how long that took and whether or not I thought it was worth doing. So I started out at 15 stone earlier this year, and getting to 15 stone took a lot of eating to the point where I was actually getting a bit sick of food at one point. But it was around about March, and I thought, okay, I need to put a plan in place now, and summer's coming around the corner, so I decided, right, I'm going to lose some weight and I'm going to get a lot of this body fat off. The first thing I did was immediately track my weight. So get some good scales, and if you know what you're starting with, like me, I was 15 stone. So I know I want to definitely get down to like 13 and a half, maybe 13, or just set yourself a goal. I'm going to go from 15 to 14. So that was the plan. I was just going to try and lose a stone. So I started tracking my weight every single day, and that's something you definitely need to do, because if you're not tracking, then you won't really know, other than just like looking at your body, if the weight's coming off. But at least if you're tracking your weight on the scales, you know what you're doing is working. For diet, I instantly started cutting out sugar and like fizzy drinks and just general tasty garbage like takeaways. But I did still allow myself a cheat day where I would have all of those things. I wouldn't just immediately go to eating, broccoli and chicken. I think it's important to still have a day where you can indulge, because if you don't, it can just be like really tough, just constantly eating clean or just being hungry. So yeah, that's what I would do, still have a day where I could enjoy those things. And it felt a lot more rewarding when I knew, okay, Saturday would be my day where I can have pretty much whatever I want, as opposed to before where I was just eating whatever, whenever. For training, I tried to lift as heavy as I could when I was 15 stone, but I was quite aggressive with this cut because I'm someone who's impatient and I want to try and get to my goal as quick as possible. But if you did it slower than I did, then you won't necessarily lose as much strength, but you are going to lose some strength, because you can't really lose a lot of body fat without losing muscle. Unless you've never trained, then that's a different ball game. But for someone like me who's been training a long time, it was only natural that I was going to start losing muscle, and then my strength would decline. That's just something that I had to take into account, and I was willing to lose to be able to get this body fat off. Once I had stopped having so much sugary and just garbage food, I then analysed my diet and was just like, okay, what can I have like smaller portions of but still have? So I would eat a lot of like salmon and chips, or like if I was having an egg sandwich, I would take the yolks out and just have the egg whites, and the sandwiches, the bread, I would have just smaller loaves of bread. And just making small adjustments like that over time can really add up, and you won't necessarily notice so much those smaller portions and just those little adjustments anyway. So what will happen at the start of the cut is you will lose a lot of weight fast, depending on how much you have to lose, that is. For example, me being 15 stone and getting to quite like a weight that my body's not really that comfortable with, getting from 15 to 14 stone was pretty easy. I didn't have any like mad mood swings or didn't really feel that hungry. Just made some small adjustments and just upped my cardio throughout the week in my training, and yeah, got down to 14 stone pretty easily. But what happens is your body adjusts to that and slows down your metabolism and stops trying to burn energy so fast. And let's say going from 14 to 13 stone, that was when I started to feel hungry, get a bit moody, and feel miserable at times. The best ways I found to combat the hunger pains would be herbal tea, which is something I have. It's just I add water to it and it's got caffeine in it. Caffeine is a great way to curb your hunger. And a game changer for me that I was having, like I only had recently, was sparkling water. Now I know that is a very much hate it or love it product, but yeah, I found sparkling water was very good into making me feel like I've actually had something to fill me up. 0-calorie fizzy drinks can be good. You don't want to have them too much. There's some chemicals in them that aren't that good. A lot of people always come out and say, but yeah, just small doses of those sometimes help. Initially, I just wanted to lose enough fat where I could take my shirt off in summer and just feel confident. And ironically, the summer in this UK was like one of the worst ones in 200 years. So I could have just not done any of this and just stayed fat basically. Managed to lose 1.5 stone very quickly. We're talking maybe in the space of like a few months. And I even went on that cruise as well, where that set me back quite a bit because I was just eating and drinking on there every single day. But yeah, I managed to lose 1.5 stone pretty quickly in the space of a few months. And I could have stopped there because at about that weight, when I was about 13.5 stone, I was definitely confident enough to just be summer ready. But this year was different because recently I've just had a month where I haven't had any like events planned or any social gatherings. And for someone who likes a drink, I've actually not had any alcohol, like a lot of alcohol in about 4 weeks now. So I thought I can really try and take my physique to the next level. I also have a holiday coming up in a week's time, so that was just another incentive for me to really try and push this as far as I could go. So this whole transformation took me roughly about 5 to 6 months. And like I said, there was a week there where I was on a cruise just eating whatever I want again and not dialing down on my diet as well as I could have. And I'm currently over 2 stone now, lighter than what I was when I started. So that's a massive drop. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with it. And but I will say, do I think it's worth it? I don't think it is, because it's hard to enjoy life like the lower body fat you go and like the lighter you are. You know, you have to make quite a few sacrifices. I can only really have one day a week where if I want to have a drink or eat loads of food, I have to get back on it straight away. Otherwise, I'll just start putting the weight back on. And unless, if this was like my actual career, like being a fitness like influencer, or if I lived in a country that was a lot hotter than the UK, which is pretty much anywhere, then it might be different. But I think if you want to like enjoy your life, you want to get to a comfortable weight as opposed to trying to stay shredded all the time. I personally wouldn't want to sustain this because it's not that fun, not that enjoyable. But it was just quite a like unique thing for me to do. Someone who loves fitness and loves training, to try and get to like as low as I can. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's better to just try and stay at a comfortable weight. I'm not saying don't keep fit or anything like that, or try and lose weight. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that it does get to the point where you are just hungry all the time and you're just moody, and no matter what you do, it will, just suck basically. But you'll look great. I mean, the pros are take your shirt off and you've got abs pop in, or you go to the beach and you look really, really good. But the sacrifices, the pros don't outweigh the cons, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's roughly how long it takes, and that's my view on it. I'm looking forward to going on my holiday next week and losing all of this progress and probably putting a stone back on. So yeah, I hope you found the video useful and you've made it this far. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.